Girl, be you. That's all that you can do. Girl, be you. That's all that you can do. Don't be nobody else. Don't be nobody else. Don't be nobody else. Don't be.
Hey y'all, and welcome back to the Girl Be You podcast. I am Gigi, your host, and here at this podcast, we are creating a space for you to be your most authentic self in a world that is full of what? Chaos, child. And it seems like more and more, we're getting more and more chaotic, okay? Find your corner of the world, get you some peace, sit down, relax, and monitor what you're listening to. Listen to this podcast, but monitor what you're listening to because there's a lot of crazy outside, and I don't want that to get in your spirit, okay? I do not want that getting in your spirit. Y'all, I'm so happy that you joined me for this week's episode. We're going to get right into it because I have a lot to share. So let's get into it. In the last podcast, last week's episode, we talked about how I want to show up this year in being consistent and being focused. And that has not changed. I think I want to continue to have those check-ins with myself. And if you are like me and you don't have big resolutions and you are not, fighting for your life for the goalpost and the vision boards and, all of that stuff, and you're just easing into life and you're just showing up as yourself authentically, then listen, that checking in with yourself can be tough, but it is necessary. And so those are things that I am doing. I am checking in with myself, making sure that I'm getting my rest, and I am taking care of me, doing the things that I love to do, not being selfish all the time, but a lot of the time, monitoring how much I want to give out before I start pouring, right? And so this week, I just want to share a couple things with y'all. And one, let's just get into the fact that here we are, not even fully through January, but I would just like to mention again that y'all, this year has been yearing already, okay? And I want us to always remember to stay in a place of being grateful, having full gratitude, and loving where you are and embracing where you are, right? Because it's easy to start comparing and saying, I wish I was here, I was there. These are the good days. Don't ever forget that you are quite literally living in the good days, that you will look back and be like, girl, I can't believe that we used to do X, Y, and Z. You remember that house we used to live in? Girl, do you remember how simple life was? Because we do it now, right? We always look back and we say like, dang, I remember when life was this way and that way. Remember that you're living in the good days, okay? Don't compare and don't be so ready to run to the next thing. Learn how to be present in where you are and enjoy where you are, okay? So this week I wanted to share a few things with y'all. One, I went to go see The Color Purple, and I know that The Color Purple has been out since Christmas time. Okay, y'all. So I have seen The Color Purple twice. I've seen the movie twice. Listen, I have thoughts. Okay, just bear with me for a minute. Okay. Now I am a diehard original Color Purple fan. Okay, I'm talking about 1985. I'm talking about Celie, you got the ugliest smile this side of creation. I'm talking about I gotta go to school. I gotta go to school. When I tell you, I know almost every single line, and I can quote verbatim all every single line of that movie. Like, I'm a diehard fan, okay? I never saw the play, so I didn't have like a thought process or an opinion about the actual play. Again, I've only seen the movie. And when I tell you I've seen it, I've watched it over 100 times, okay? So I love that movie. I love it. I realize that it's not supposed to be like a comedy or anything like that. It is a very gut-wrenching movie. Like, when you really think about it and look at it, it is a gut-wrenching movie. It is the story of Celie and how she lived her life and how she didn't have a voice, and that speaks volumes for a lot of people, right? So I realized, but I've watched it so much that sometimes it's just like, now why would you say that? Because my family and I, we quote this movie like verbatim, right? So anyway, So I did not see the play, but when I saw that the movie was coming out, I was like, oh, this is going to be very different. I knew that it was going to be very different, right? I knew it was going to be different because it had all singers in it. Okay. And I'm going to stop. I'm going to put a pin in that right there because I want people to understand that words mean things. Okay. Not only do words mean things, but comprehension is another layer of meaning things, right? So when I saw that the movie was coming out, I saw this line that says this movie was an adaptation from the play. From the play, ladies and gentlemen, okay? So that means not even from the original movie. It's from the play. Can I make that clear? It is from the play. Okay? So the play means what? There's a lot of what? Singing. And that means that the play is an adaptation from what? The movie. So that means you're not going to get all of the lines that you would get from the movie in the play. That also means that you won't get all of the lines that you get from the movie, from the play in this adaptation of the play. Y'all following me? I know y'all follow me because y'all are very intelligent people. Okay. So when I watched the musical, I was moved. I loved the acting. I loved a lot of the songs. Some of the songs I was like, but I loved the idea. I love what the story told. I love that they showed not all of the gut wrenching things that you saw in the original movie, but I also realized that it was an adaptation from the play, not the movie. Okay? Just follow me. I'm going somewhere. So as I watched the movie, I love Fantasia's role. I love Taraji in it. Danielle Brooks was amazing. Like all of the actresses and actors were great. The way that they laid out the story was great. I love the opening act. You know, there were a lot of things that in my mind, I was like, he died on top of me, like they said in the original movie. So you got to know the original movie then to know that, right? So as I'm watching it, you know, I was very much moved. I enjoyed it. I cried the first time I watched it because the feelings that I felt and the storyline was still the same, but what they were sharing and how I connected to the story in the way of finding your voice like Fantasia, finally getting to the end, even though I saw the movie 10,000 times, it was just great to see in a different way. Okay. Now let's move to the outrage of the world, okay, or the few people. Now, again, y'all know that the movie is an adaptation from the book, right? And books, because not all people are readers, but books give more than what the TV or the movie does, okay? Y'all know that, right? Okay. So in the movie, Suge and Celie have a moment when they kiss, okay? They have a moment when they kiss. And if you are intelligent beyond just common sense, you know that they were alluding to the fact that they had a relationship, right? In the book, it goes even deeper in details and tells you what happened between Suge and Celie. So to hear people going insane about Taraji and Fantasia having one kiss, and then to say that people are pushing an agenda is wild to me. Because the entire movie, she was sold off to Mr. for a cow and some eggs. Okay? Mr. was actively whooping her tail in that house. Her children were ripped from her. But y'all draw the line at a kiss. Listen, it's the selective outrage for me, and I really want people to do a few things. I want you to understand that words mean things and realize that the book is always going to give you way more than what the actual movie does with anything, okay? And then for you all to be outraged that it was a musical, they said it was an adaptation from the play. What did y'all think y'all were really getting a remake of the 1985 movie? Come on. We have all this technology in the world, and it just seems like more and more people are getting just a little bit more of their brain is leaking out of their ear. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. Because y'all just be bothering me a little bit. Y'all be outraged about everything. Okay, you be outraged about people swag surfing in church. You don't even go to church. You upset about the rumors. Well, baby, we heard worse rumors than about you. But they're a lie and someone else's rumors are true, babes. Come on. Come on. You're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. You guys are killing me with this, okay? I just want everybody to relax. The movie was great. You don't have to watch things that you don't want to watch if you don't agree with it. But please, for all the things lovely, please shut up and let us enjoy it. For the people who like the movie and want to enjoy certain things. And also know that you're really not getting the whole concept if you're watching the movie that was adapted from a book. Alrighty, let me keep going because y'all are pissing me off. Not y'all listening, but people, y'all just gotta relax. Can we just relax? I feel like there's been so much like tension and so people just like going insane. Calm down. Please. Calm down. Okay. Let's segue into books. Since we talked about books, y'all know that I absolutely love books. I told y'all that I am an avid reader. Love reading. I love reading all things. This year, I have given myself the goal to read 40 books. Okay. Y'all, I'm going to do it. I believe that I can surpass that goal and I'm going to make it happen. Okay. I truly believe it. It's just a matter of really just doing it and reading because I really love escaping in books and learning all of the things. So with that being said, Girl BU has a book club that you can still sign up for. We are getting ready for our first book of the month, which is Yinka, Where Is Your Husband? You can sign up for the book club again at the website www.girlbu.com. Even if you listen to Audible, if you don't read the whole book, don't worry about it because it is a way for us to build community. Our goal is to read Black authors, Black stories. We might sprinkle a few in there of non-Black authors, but we shall see. But I wanted to share with you guys my top books that I read last year. Now, mind you, at the top of the year, I was knee-deep, actually neck deep in wedding planning. And so I did not do as much reading as I should have. But once I got settled and back home around September, October, I started getting back into reading again. And I wanted to share with y'all the books that I absolutely love. Okay. I have my little stack right here. Okay. So this is the stack. These were all the books. Well, there's one book in here that I'm currently reading, but then the other book is honorable mention. Okay. So let's start with the first one, which is Black Cake. Okay. Black Cake was so amazing. It's by Charmaine Wilkinson, and you all know that it has been adapted into a Hulu special. I'm gonna tell you right now, I tried to watch the Hulu special. I can't really get into it, but I'm going to try again. We'll see. I'll just power through it. But Black Cake was one of my faves of 2023. I don't have to go into the synopsis of the book. Y'all have been watching the show. If you haven't, it's a story of a mother who passes, tells her kids her personal story that they connect with. That is very, very surface. You got to read the book, or if you want to, watch the show. All right. This book right here was recommended to me by one of my good friends who's like my book curator at Barnes and Noble, Doug. He told me that this book was going to be amazing, and he was absolutely right. It's won so many awards for 2023, and it is The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride. Y'all, this book was such a good read. Now, it had a lot of moving parts, but it was still an amazing read. I would definitely read it again. I connected with so many of the character stories and the story that they were telling, as well as the times, racism, and it was just a whole lot. It's not steeped in racism, but great storyline. Okay. Honorable mention is for this book that I read. I want to say it was last year or maybe the year before. I don't know, but it was so good and I highly recommend it. And that is The Last Summer on State Street. Okay. The Last Summer on State Street. It's so good by Toya Wolf. Y'all, this book was so good because it shares Toya's story of living in the projects in Chicago. I'm not a city girl, so I don't want to mess it up and say which project it was, but it was it was on State Street. So she shares her story of living in the projects and the times and the relationships that she had and what character it built within her, as well as how living in those projects allowed her to have a personal vision for herself, to be more, see more, and to share the story of her life and others with so many people. And it is really, really, really great. When I tell y'all this was good, this was a very, very great read, a quick read, but just really good. And it was very emotional too, because of the stories that she tells of those that she grew up with. So I'm currently reading, if y'all don't know, I love Lovey. This book is so good. It's called I'm Judging You. I'm trying to get it so y'all can see. Yeah, I'm Judging You by Lovey. Y'all, this book is so funny. And if y'all know Lovey, she definitely comes with all of the cracks, all of the reading you down, but getting you together. So it's really good. This is her debut book, which is the Do Better Manual. I'm Judging You, the Do Better Manual. So this is definitely a good one if you just need like a loose read and you just want to have a good time and laugh throughout the whole book. It's great. Now, this book right here, y'all, when I tell you this was my favorite book of 2023, my absolute, absolute favorite book of 2023. Now, I will say that it was about close to 800 pages. Listen, that is very intimidating even for me. But when I tell you the love songs of W.E.B. Du Bois, so good. When I tell y'all I cancel plans just so I can get in this book and read it. I literally, when I tell you I will read this book again, I will probably read this book over and over, because even though I know how it's going to end, even though I know how it starts, even though I know how it is, y'all, this story was just so good. It was so good because it was masterfully written. The author shares her history and how she's connected to slavery while telling the story of her ancestors, in addition to telling her own story of her own family and how their lives have woven together this it's woven together in the framework of what she does with her life and how she moves about in her life. Y'all, I'm not doing it any justice when I say that this book was absolutely my most favorite read. My husband was like, "Are you gonna put the book down?" Absolutely not. Not until I'm done. And I think it took me about a week to read it, but y'all, it was so good. Again, the love songs of W.E.B. Du Bois. Everything that they say and rave about this book, baby, they right. They are absolutely right. Okay. So those are my shares of my books. I have a list of books that I will be reading, both with the book club and personally. So if you're interested in hearing more about the books that I'm reading, go check out the newsletter. If you want to join the book club, child, go on down to the website, www.girlbu.com. Sign up. At the end of each month, we will be having a conversation, and it's really just building community. Listen, if you halfway read the book, if you read 4 chapters and then you jump on board, child, do that. Okay. Join us because it's going to be so amazing. All right. So I wanted to talk about this because I shared this over on the podcast, the Good and Ghetto podcast. As y'all know, I co-host over there with my good girlfriend, my good twin, Jemiah, and we really be over there just running our mouths and just being in our creative bag and really being inspired, right? And so that conversation sparked the conversation that I wanted to have over here because as we are gearing up for a new year, a fresh start, and just kind of getting settled into what we want to do. And again, not having big, lofty dreams and big resolutions for anything. As we were preparing for the show, my twin was like, "Hey, let's talk about, do you have hobbies?" Child. Now, it seems very simple, right? And she's like, just we'll talk about whatever hobby you have. She's like, but the catch is that the hobby can't be a way that you're monetizing anything. Girl, wait a minute. You, I mean, I be writing, but it's yeah. I was like, I like to read, but it's more of an interest. So it made me really think about, what do I do for fun? And that's the question I want to pose for you. What do you do for fun? Not where you're monetizing, not where you're making money off of something that you learned how to do, but what do you do that you have fun doing? What interest do you have that fills you up where you just do whatever you want to do? It's not being monetized. It's not on a platform. You're not. What do you do where you do not monetize, but you just have fun doing it? So, in thinking about this, I wanted to share this with y'all because it took me a really long time to figure out what I actually wanted to do or what hobbies I actually have. And I realized your girl ain't got a hobby. There it is. I ain't got no hobby. Ain't that a shame? That's a shame. It's a shame because it made me think about my upbringing and just made me think about who I was as a little girl, right? And I'm always driven back to the little girl because I believe that the little girl within us is who we are and who we become as adults. And I just remembered, like, I definitely remember when I stopped having fun per se, and when I started getting into the mindset of work, 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 work. And it was around the time when I turned 15. So I don't know if I shared this story with you guys, but I was 15 and it was the very first time that I had gotten to my bag of creating things and planning things. So I planned this basketball tournament. I worked with Nike. I got, different free swag, and ordered these, you know, I ordered these trophies, and I had food, and I worked with the village to rent a place, and I had t-shirts made. Baby, not a soul showed up. Okay. It was a great lesson though. I was very disappointed. I cried. I was just like, I'm a failure, blah, blah, blah. But I think at that moment, that's when I really got into my I have to work bag. Like it was very much like I have to work. There's, if I want to be successful, I have to do X, Y, and Z. And I have been being that way since that age. So all throughout high school, all throughout college, I was very much hustle, 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 work, work, work. I mean, I would go back and forth between my dad's church and college, the college campus, because I was planning events. And I've never had anything that I've just done for fun. I've always been the corporate girl. I've always been like, well, let me find another job. Let me jump on this train. Let me go here. Let me go there. So having this conversation really sparked in me, what do I do for fun? And I think that's the reason that I am where I am right now as it pertains to like the corporate world and working in that way. Like I just don't want to do it. I don't, I don't want to do it. So here are my top 3 hobbies that I am going to engage in and have fun with. All right. My first one is I want to learn how to make bread, like homemade bread. And if y'all don't know, I'll be on TikTok and I'll be over there finding all the recipes for focaccia bread, how to make sourdough bread, how to make, just regular bread, pizza dough. I'll be studying, y'all. I'll be really studying. And before the month is out, I am definitely going to try it and make focaccia bread because y'all, that rosemary focaccia be looking good. Okay. So I'm very excited about that because I just feel like I already like cooking, but I think baking and making bread is a different level of um, something within me because it takes patience. It takes, just having the right exact amount of ingredients and watching it and, seeing the end result of what you've made. So, yeah, that's my first one. I am definitely going to start making bread. I'm going to put my list together this week and I will report back in with y'all to let y'all know how this bread making goes. Okay. The other thing is I had a passion for this before my grandmother passed, but my grandmother used to make the butter cookies, the old school cafeteria butter cookies and oatmeal raisin cookies. She would always send them to me while I was away at college. And so before she passed, she shared with us her recipe, and no one has really done anything with it. So I feel like, again, this is my way to honor her and learn how to bake cookies. Now her cookies are not vegan. So, you know, I might later on down the road test out how to make them vegan. But in the meantime, in between time, I'm gonna get in this kitchen and learn how to bake Eunice's famous cookies. Like everybody at the church used to love her cookies. And so I want to do that. And she always had the dream of like packaging them up and selling them and all that. I don't really want to do that right now because, again, we're talking about a hobby that, we can just do. And I feel like that's something that I want to keep close to my chest right now and just learn how to make her cookies. And the last thing is, so y'all know I love coffee. I used to be a Starbucks fan. And the way life is panning out for Starbucks right now, I don't know if the girlies or anybody is really a fan of Starbucks. But hey, to each his own. I don't really care for Starbucks's coffee per se, just because I like a different kind of taste. I used to love that taste of that that very amazing Starbucks kind of taste. But I only drink Chicago French press coffee, and I'm exploring other coffees as well. And so that is what has sparked the hobby of, y'all, I want to start be my own barista at home. So, grinding the espresso beans and making the coffees. I've been studying how to make I've been studying how to make the cappuccinos, the lattes. Although lattes are very milky, cappuccinos are very frothy. It's still an amazing tool to have. So I really want to have like my own coffee barista room in the house because I want the espresso machine. I want to make the espresso. I just feel like for me, that's in line with me, and I can do all the syrups and all that good stuff. Because who doesn't want a good cup of coffee? Because I'm not paying $18 for a cup of coffee. That is an exaggeration. But I'm just saying, I don't want to pay that much for no coffee. Okay. So those are my three hobbies. I am going to bake bread, and honor my grandmother by learning her honor my grandmother by learning her. I'm going to honor my grandmother by learning her recipes for her famous cookies that everyone loved. And then I'm about to be a barista at my house though. I just want to do it at the house. And maybe just maybe I will make coffee and drinks for my family. The other thing that I do want to do is to get into bartending. Yes. But I only want to make certain drinks because y'all know, the real people who know me know that I'm only drinking a granddaddy drink, and that means a whiskey with an ice cube, maybe. But everything else is neat. And a good old espresso martini. I mean, they go hand in hand, is all I'm saying. Okay. So listen, if you don't have a hobby, find you a hobby. Find something that brings you joy. Find something that you can do that you're not always trying to get a bag on or hustle and grind to make it work. We have enough of that. We have enough of that in the world, right? If you like taking photography, or you want to learn how to knit, or you want to learn how to play pickleball. I think I want to learn how to play that too, because I think that's a new thing. They be out here playing pickleball, and child, I don't know how to do that. Or even learning how to play golf. I would, but my brother is just absolutely insane when it comes to golf, and he's a golf guru and he loves it. I can't. But I did tell him I would come out there with him once the weather breaks and drive the caddy for him. Because I am not getting that serious with, all that other stuff that my brother be doing. But I do hear that there are a lot of deals made on the golf course. So, I mean, do you have to be on the golf course, or can you just drive the caddy? Because I'm on the golf course, right? Anyway, terrible tangent. I'm getting way off. Listen, find you a hobby that you enjoy. Oh, y'all, I forgot to tell you my last one. My last one. So I want to bake. I want to bake bread, focaccia bread, and I also want to bake the cookies, of course, and be my own barista. But I'm currently on Duolingo learning what? French. Y'all. I'm not getting paid for it. I can't monetize learning French because, I'm just on Duolingo and I'm just like chat and un. I don't know nothing yet. But listen, I told y'all this is the year that I'm going to be full of faith and delusion. And I am just delusional to believe that I am quite literally fluent in French. Because when I go back to Paris and I want to be able to speak the language of the people. Okay. Y'all, it's been a great episode. Make sure that y'all share this. I'm so glad to be doing the things that I absolutely love. Y'all, please, please get back to doing things that you love, not the things that people say that you should do, not doing all this crazy stuff and, outlandish stuff and doing things that don't even fit in your mindset. Do the things that you absolutely love. Find a hobby. If it's reading, read on your Kindle, get an Audible, do what you need to do. Life is way too short to be stressed to not do things that we love, to learn something new. So make sure that you are following me on Instagram at G_girlbu. And if you want to join the newsletter, the book club, go visit the website www.girlbu.com. And as always, y'all, with every step, girl, be you. Until next time, bye, y'all.
Girl, be you. That's all that you can do. Girl, be you. That's all that you can do.